Welcome to episode 8 of Gun Guides, where I show you how to get, use, and master every gun family in Spiral Knights. It confuses me as to why this gun in specific has been the most requested gun for me to make a guide about, but this time I'm covering Antiguas. Antiguas start as 3 stars that are purchased from Brinks for 20 jelly gems. Note that because this weapon is obtained through Brinks, all of the recipes are found in the arcade from Basil, and are unable to be purchased through the Hall of Heroes. There are 4 different 5-star Antiguas. The Argent Peacemaker is the first 5-star. It deals elemental damage, and it has an inherent damage of high against undeads. The Sentenza is the shadow damage Antigua, and it has an inherent damage of high against gremlins. The Gilded Griffin deals piercing damage, with damage high against fiends, and the 4th 5-star is the Obsidian Carbine, dealing shadow damage with a chance to inflict poison on both the basic attacks and the charge attack. Note that the poison from the charge is actually stronger than that of the basic attacks. The Obsidian Carbine is obtained through the Apocrine event. The Antiguas are really straightforward guns to use. Antiguas can shoot 6 times before reloading, and the shots travel fast and have long range. The bullets from the basic attack have the same damage as the needles from an autogun basic attack, so you can think of it as an extended, slower autogun attack with much lower DPS. The charge attack fires 5 normal bullets, followed up by a large ghost bird projectile. The 5 shots deal the same amount as the basic attacks, while the bird deals the same damage as a bullet from an autogun charge. For some reason, the bird has the longest range on any gun charge in the game. It can hit enemies from extremely far away, around 10 blocks distance. Antiguas have almost no unique mechanics to them that I can really talk about. If 2 enemies are close together, shooting in between them can cause the explosion from the bullet to hit both of them, and it essentially doubles your damage, though this can be said about most other guns. Antiguas being good for a gunner depends on the user's skill level. Antiguas are very simple guns to understand. While Alchemists have complicated ricochet angles and Pulsars have range requirements, Antiguas are just point and click. For a new player, these guns are super comfortable to use due to their lack of complicated mechanics. The same can be said about blasters. Blasters are also guns that lack any special mechanics and are mainly point and click. Comparing Antiguas to the blaster line, Antiguas actually do more damage if the user can't weapon switch, further making them more comfortable to newer players. However, if the user can weapon switch, the Antigua loses heavily in DPS. Regarding the charge attack, it's extremely weak, and I would advise against using it pretty much ever. The bird does pierce through enemies, but unlike the Magnus charge that pushes enemies away and into the bullet's path, the Antigua charge pushes enemies aside, usually landing only 1 or 2 hits. Not only that, the charge also roots you in place for a super long time, and you can't change the direction of it either. It's the gun with the most risky and least rewarding charge. Not a good combination. If you're looking for a good charge attack on a gun, just look to the Magnus or autogun lines. These charges hold you still for less time, and are capable of dealing thousands in burst damage. The one upside is the fact that the charge has the longest range in the game. I doubt this can really be used much in a combat situation, but it actually helps in elite orb farming. Running Axes of Evil and running straight to the bottom left of the first depth is a popular way to farm elites, and the Antigua charge can break all the boxes on the left side with only 1 charge, which no other gun can do, making the farming slightly easier than normal. Antiguas are difficult to make a guide on, because the community treats them as a meme due to just how bad they are compared to most other guns. Antiguas were meant to be the mobile running gun weapon, but they have 3 extreme problems: their damage, mobility, and charge. Antiguas, if the player can switch, have some of the lowest damage in the game. They're meant to be some mobile strafing gun, but their walking speed is the same as any other strafing gun. On top of all this, the charge attack is possibly the worst gun charge attack in the whole game. A massive flaw with Antiguas is that they have no form of self-protection other than mobility, meaning that they give you no way to flinch or knock back enemies. It's impossible to keep a large group of enemies in check with only an Antigua, while blasters have knockback on every shot that helps keep you safe. Most things this gun tries to do, other guns can just do better. It's usable, but it's never the best option for a gunner. So, if Antiguas get beaten out by blasters if the user can switch, where are they good? The answer is that Antiguas aren't meant for gunners at all. They're meant for sword players. A sword player might use a set that gives sword damage such as Skulver or Snarble. These sets are good for sword users, but they don't have any gun stats at all. Antigua line weapons complement this with their inherent damage against certain families. Relying on these bonuses as a sword user makes Antiguas outshine blasters in terms of damage. Of course, all of this is negligible if the sword player is using Black Cat or Chaos due to their universal damage increases, but aside from that, this is the only true way I can see Antiguas actually being useful for an adept player. Well, that's not true. They have long range and fast speed, so using them as a switch flipping tool is also a good idea. All in all, Antiguas are fairly easy guns to use. While good for a beginner gunner, Antiguas get worse the better a gunner gets, as more diverse and powerful options present themselves. If any of you know any Antigua techniques that I don't know of, please let me know. Thanks for watching, and if you're still here, I'd really enjoy content suggestions. Some ideas I had were something like a status resist guide, or a fully fledged guide to dungeons like Vanaduke. Any suggestions are much appreciated. Again, thanks for watching.